All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I think I was so hyper like that. How's everyone doing? I know it's been raining really hard this afternoon, and then suddenly it stopped. So hopefully everyone's okay and everyone's like safe and warm somewhere out there. At least in my corner of Metro Manila, it already stopped raining, so I'm really grateful. But earlier this afternoon, I was like, what just happened there? I took a bath with my sunscreen. It's like, okay, I had a lot of sunscreen and then suddenly it rained. Okay, that's goodbye sunscreen. But anyway, according to them, just a trivia that even though it's raining, you really still have to use your sunscreen. I think I've seen that somewhere. Anyway, welcome back to welcome back to my channel. It's me again. It's Irene, and welcome to Thinking Tuesdays. I'm so excited for this episode, and this has been bumped off from last week because I was really busy last week. I was almost like drowning in workload. But I'm so happy that I'm back. I'm not sure what happens next week. Because you know, it really gets busier. But at this point, I'm still happy that I can still go live. And welcome back to our audience who have been constantly following my page. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'd also like to um, say shout outs to um, the relationship manager of Lana PH for checking in on me earlier this evening. Riz, if you're watching, please post your shout outs there. I'm also very grateful that you actually called me up and asked about my experience with Lana PH. So if you don't know what Lana PH is, it's actually skincare. So if you're obsessed with skincare like I am, definitely visit Lana PH. So you can like check them out on Facebook, or you can also check them out in online stores like Lazada, or online shopping stores like Lazada, and I'm not sure with the other the other if they're also on other online shopping platforms. So anyway, I'm grateful. Thank you so much, Riz, for calling me up earlier this evening. And I'd also like to say my shout outs to Sir Joseph. Thank you so much. I know you will never quit supporting my podcast. Thank you so much. Thank you. And hi, Jessica. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. And to those who are silent viewers, hi there. I know maybe we've met each other before, or maybe you are just there and you you have time to watch tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in, even though I cannot see your names on the screen, but I'm really grateful that you're there. So if you wish to like interact later on, chime in, join the conversation, please just join the conversation. We'll be very happy to hear from you. And to those who are watching the replay, yes, yes, I know, I see you. Thank you so much for being here. And of course, again, join the conversation. Even though you're watching this on replay, I'm still reading your messages after this is posted. So yes, thank you so much for being there tonight. So I think I've already said pretty much everything, right? Parang nasabi ko na lahat. Napasalamatan ko na ba lahat? I'd like to thank my sponsors. I'd also like to thank my sponsors. Kelsey Baby Wear, thank you so much for the bows. It's not here. I don't have it here, but I posted it earlier. They're really, really cute bows. And also, I'd like to thank Lavender All PH for the oils and for the partnership with the bracelets, of course. So if you're looking for bracelets, please visit my channel as well, so that I mean my page, so that you can check out the bracelets that we've launched several no 2 weeks ago. We are preparing the shop. It's taking quite a bit of a time, quite a bit of time, but yeah, I'm happy that we have a partnership with Lavender LPH, and yeah, there you go. Hi, Lawrence. I'm so happy that you're there. Hi. Hi. Yeah, I'll send you a message later on. You know what I'm gonna talk about. So, so I'll send you a message after this podcast. So anyway, okay, let me just share my screen because I don't think I can survive without PowerPoint presentations. So yes, I'd like to. thank my ever supportive ever supportive PR for this PowerPoint presentation. It's very artistic and very creative. Thank you so much. Keep playing games with my Backstreet Boys. Grabe na miss ko yung Backstreet Boys. All right. Again, welcome back to Thinking Tuesdays. Our topic for tonight is how do I know when to quit? Okay, so did I ever quit? Yes, I did several times. I believe you also did several times. I had, but I can remember the times that I had to quit. I definitely can remember. Um, I remember quitting my dream job. Yeah, I quit my dream job. Also quit my dream course. I quit a lot of things which were really important to me because I had to give way to something which is more important. So yeah, we have several reasons why we quit, but how do you really know how to quit? So let's start the conversation by defining what's quitting. Quitting means to stop, to cease, or discontinue. This is from Collins Dictionary. So yeah, so we basically just stop doing it. So that's the meaning of quitting. Just to give the parameters again for this conversation. Hello again. Hi dog. Thank you so much for watching. I'm not sure what time is it again. Like we have a 7 hour. Is that am I correct? 7 hour time zone gap, right? We are ahead by 7 hours. How to tell the difference between real reasons or excuses. Maybe we should talk about that, Lawrence. When I invite you, we have to talk about that. I will not say it here. We should start that conversation, right? It's a different conversation, I guess. Oh, but that's also okay. But you better stay. All right. So why do people quit? So there are so many reasons why people quit. The first one is when you want the outcome more than you want to obtain a skill. We're always focused on the outcome. Always, obviously, we are always focused on the outcome because it's what keeps us going, right? Your goals are what keep you going. The goals, they're always there. Like you can never take your eyes off your goals because that's what you want, right? But what we actually fail to realize is that when we want something, we have to give something, right? So you cannot possibly want something without giving something. And sometimes that give means giving your time, giving your effort, giving your money maybe if you want a certain outcome. Unfortunately, we just want the outcome without necessarily knowing what we have to give. And when we are talking about what we have to give, again, we have to also obtain something. Like we have to develop a skill in order to achieve that something. So, for example, if I want to be the best salesman ever, I have to learn about sales. I have to um, improve my communication skills. I have to be very competitive. I also have to be creative in doing the things that I'm doing because if I constantly do what everybody else does, I wouldn't be reaching my goals, right? So it's really sometimes it's really wanting the outcome more that makes us feel that we are not capable of doing the things of achieving them without necessarily knowing what we have to also give, right? I hope that makes sense. Did I make sense? I did, right? Okay, I think I ate too much noodles. I'm so hyper. I was trying to really lessen my carbs, but such a such a bummer. I still eat a lot of carbs. Okay. Another thing that make people quit is another thing that makes people quit is the fear of judgment in failure because um, this is what most people think that when you quit you did not fail. Actually, you quit even before you failed. So quitting is also some form of a failure because you never really fought until your last breath or your last defense. So that's what I always say. You have to fight until your last drop of energy if you really want to win. However, people quit even before that happens. Even before the actual failure, people already quit. So because they are scared that people will be judging them based on their failures. And just like what I said last night, you are not your thoughts. And I will say it again, you are not your actions. So, but anyway, again, that's one of the reasons why people quit. Another reason is the lack of discipline. Oh my gosh, I'm so, this is just so this is just so well, what do you call it? It resonates a lot, right? We really don't have the discipline to stick to, or we are really not keen on focusing on how we can be more disciplined. Okay, just an example, gym. Okay, just one word, three letters, but it's really a lot of patience. It's really a lot of discipline that we have to have. However, we don't have the discipline to stick to it. We just want, oh, that's also good. We just want the outcome, but we don't want to have the skill, or we don't have the discipline. We just want to be slimmer, or maybe more muscled, or whatever. But yeah, nobody really considers the hard work that you have to put into. So yeah, discipline is really important, but unfortunately people don't really have them. Hi Riz, I was just actually talking about you during the intro. Hi, thank you so much for tuning in. All right. So if you're ordering from Lana PH, Rizzy is there in the audience. Can get in touch with her. I was just talking about you, Rizzy. Thank you so much for calling me earlier. Much appreciated from a customer's perspective about Lana PH. So thank you for that. Hello, Sir Neil, watching from Tayog, Pangasinan. Hello, hello. Thank you for tuning in. Hello, ma'am. Good evening po. This is Florever. Thank you so much, ma'am, for tuning in. Right. Another reason why people quit, not believing in themselves enough. I've talked about this several times already in previous episodes. I constantly talk about self-esteem I for like several episodes already, I think, right? To those who are constantly watching my episodes, I think I've talked about self-esteem for like more than 5 times already. I always include it in my podcast about self-esteem because there's a lot that you can do when you believe in yourself. There's a lot. You can achieve your goals, you can make friends, you can you can do a lot of things when you're confident. However, we constantly doubt ourselves, and that's why people quit, because we think that we are not adequate, we are not enough, we don't have the capabilities to achieve what we want, so we quit because of that, the lack of self-esteem, or we don't believe in ourselves enough. Hello, Ma'am Cla. Thank you so much. Hi, hi, hi. Better late than never. You're not really that late. It's just I think 15 minutes. Yeah, it's been 15 minutes. All right. So please share your thoughts as well. Why do people quit? And if you've ever quit, what was the main reason why you had to? Okay. Another reason why we quit is because we keep on comparing ourselves with others. Okay, I've talked about this like right in previous episodes about comparing ourselves with others. It really doesn't work like that. Like we are all unique. We all have our own capabilities. We have um we we are just so different that we should never really cross that line of comparing ourselves with other people. I've been there before. I'm still there sometimes, comparing myself with other people. It's just that sometimes you would feel self pity and stuff like that. And last night I talked about negative thoughts, right? So it's one of the negative thoughts when you compare yourself with other people, because it's not fair. You've also achieved on your own. You also worked on your capabilities and your skills, your talents. You've also worked so hard in school, or if you did really work hard in school, I don't know, but you've definitely worked hard somewhere in your life. And it's not fair to be comparing your achievements with other people. Really not fair. So, one of the reasons why people quit is because when we start comparing ourselves with other people and we feel inadequate, that's the time that, that's the time that we use it as an excuse to quit or to just give up. Hello, Bess. OMG, you're there in the audience. Thank you, thank you. Okay, another reason. Oh no, this is this is already this is already sorry, this is just a quote from Lance Armstrong. Pain is temporary. It may last a minute or an hour or a day or a year, but eventually it will subside and something else will take its place. If I quit, however, it lasts forever. That's so true, right? I mean, um, you will never know. You will never know what's gonna be the result if you quit prematurely. And is it normal to feel like quitting? Obviously, yes. As I've mentioned last night in our Motivation Monday, it's normal to feel negative or to think about negative thoughts. It's really normal. I mean, it's not as if we're not humans, right? Every person has, we have our human emotions and it's normal. But but we have to really focus on the positive side of things so that we will be able to achieve our goals, because if we keep focusing on the negative thoughts that we have, um eventually we will quit, and then we will never know what success really means, or what achieving our goals will really feel like. So, well, I will not tell you not to quit, because there are also reasons um why I mean, there are also reasons to quit, right? Okay, I almost did it when I had my training as a fire trainee because of the mental toughness being tested. Taiwan, but I survived. Yeah, yeah. Of course, if you quit, well, you will never be able to find out what's the feeling of being a firefighter, right? So there are also positive effects of not quitting. So one of those is obviously achieving your goals, right? Oh, thank you, Bess. You're so sweet. Thank you, thank you. Okay. So when should people quit? Because again, people quit for several reasons. But when should people quit? I totally believe that people should quit based on these reasons and based on this timings. I don't know, how do you call it? Based on this situations. I'm running I'm running out of thoughts. I think I really ate too much noodles. Oh my goodness. Too much noodles and too much chicken. Ah, shouldn't overeat. I'm having too much energy. Okay, when should people quit? The first one is when your goal is really unrealistic or unattainable. That's why we have to have SMART goals, right? Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bound. So that's how your goal should be. However, we also have times when our goals are unrealistic. For example, you just graduated from college, and you want to buy a luxury car after that, unless you won the lottery or your parents are really, really, really rich. I think that's unrealistic. Buying a luxury car after college. Well, again, unless you're really rich, that's not a big deal. But after graduating from college, obviously you have to have your first job, and your salary is entry level. It's not gonna, you're not gonna be able to buy a car right after college. That in a very short period of time. And again, unless you won the lottery, or maybe you've hit your quotas, you're probably really the best in your team. You've sold several hundreds of millions of properties. Well, aside from that, your goal may be unrealistic, right? So you should quit. Maybe you can quit with when your goal. Oh, maybe you don't have to quit, but you have to reorganize or reassess your goals if that happens. Kailangang mag-quit kapag ano 'to, kapag di ka naman pinapansin ng taong gusto mo, kung ayaw mo diwag, hashtag. Yeah, that too, I think. Okay. Ask me ha, char lang. Hi, Ice, just dropping by to say hi. Hi, Janet, OMG, hi, hi, hi. Please, I have so many people in the audience, so please feel free to share your experiences. You can do it very generic so that it's not really that specific and it's not incriminating. You can share your experiences so that I will also find out when did you quit or why did you quit or what were your reasons, right? What were your reasons why you had to quit? Ayun, yung tipong ginawa mo naman lahat pero hindi pa rin sapat kaya gusto mo I feel you. Naramdaman ko 'to. Ang lalim pero, yeah. Yung ginawa mo na lahat, tumambling ka na, ngumuya ka na ng baga, tumulay ka sa alambre habang naka-heels, gano'n, 'di ba? Hindi talaga, kung hindi talaga, 'di ba? Ouch. Okay, next is, um, not enjoying what you're doing. I think people have been asking me, "Why do you not look tired?" Like, yeah, I look tired too. You just don't see it in the camera. I'm always just this bubbly person. But yeah, I get tired too, but not as tired as wanting to quit. So, one time someone asked me, "Why do you always look as if you're so happy with what you're doing, even though you're really busy and we know your schedules are really tight?" I just said that. I think this was my answer, if I remember it correctly. I said that I never do what I don't like doing, and if there's something that I really don't like doing, I try liking it so that I will not have the stress of resisting the things that I have to do because we're always like that, right? And also if you've watched the episode with Beth Cole last Friday about your favorite F word, she said there, oh, I actually kept the note. Wait. I have it on my notebook. To get what you want, you have to do what you hate. Also with with a big like like or love for that something so that you will appreciate what you're doing. But yeah, if you're not happy with what you're doing, because if you're not happy with what you're doing, you're going to start complaining about it. And when you start complaining about it, it gives you a very bad feeling about it. And then you start resisting doing that. Like, for example, say, for example, at work, we have so many things that we have to do, and yet we don't really like doing it. So instead, we are doing it and then complain about it, then tell everybody that you hate what you're doing, and then eventually you're going to manifest. Um, you're obviously going to manifest that it's not working. So people will notice that you don't really like what you're doing. So I think when there's resistance within, there's also going to be a resistance from the outside. So yeah, maybe instead of complaining about it, you should quit because you're not enjoying what you're doing. But at this point, if just in case you are not enjoying what you're doing, how about you find ways on how to really enjoy what you're doing? Can be a simple task. I really hate um mediocre tasks, but when you start looking at it from a different perspective, you actually kind of not fall in love with it, but you just start liking whatever it is. Just to share when to quit. Let's say you want to put a shop in Clark because the business works and in Laguna and it's failing. I don't quit. But if I start a new endeavor and it's been failing a year already, I have to quit. That's also a good point. Yeah. For business people like you. Yeah, it makes sense. If it's been failing, you can definitely quit because you have alternatives. I think that's also a good point. Um, did I answer it correctly? So I had to read it again. Yeah, yeah. I think 1 year for businesses. For businesses, I'm not sure what happened with the pandemic because before, I mean pre-pandemic, 1 year is already your learning the curve and learning the ropes. Yeah, that's That the learning curve and learning the ropes. Oh my god. Told you I had too many carbs. Yeah, I think if your business works somewhere else and it's not working in another area, I think you can definitely shift. But you're not changing the business. It's just a change of location, if that makes sense. Okay. But I know you. You don't you don't quit that you don't quit that you don't quit that quick. You're always so patient with a lot of things. All right. Yeah. And another thing why when people should quit is when their values do not align with whatever it is. For example, at work, if your values are no longer aligned with your company values or with your boss's values, just in case you always argue because you don't have the same beliefs maybe or values maybe or whatever it is, yeah, you can quit, but you have to consider, course, if you're quitting, of course, you have to consider where are you going. Because sometimes we just quit just because um, people's values are different from ours. I mean, alignment is totally different from just having different values, right? Sometimes we have different values because of several reasons, like religion and culture. Obviously, each religion has several different values from other religions, cultures as well. But if your values do not align, for example, you have your personal values and the values of the company, let's say, um, for example, let's just give this as an example. Your company is a manufacturing company, and then you totally don't support smoking, and your company started to manufacture cigarettes, and that doesn't align with your values. So if that happens, you can people start to quit because their values no longer align with the company that they're working with. So hope that's a good example of what this means, that when your values do not align with companies. Also, in relationships, in personal relationships, when the value of the other person, the values of the other person, especially in personal or intimate relationships, when your boyfriend or your girlfriend do not have the same values that you have, then people quit, right? Um, Let me give you this example. I've seen this in was that a movie? Yeah, I think it's a TV series or something. So when they got together, so there's this couple. When they got together, there's a girl and there's a guy, and both they both agreed that they don't want to have kids. And then fast forward to their fifth year in their marriage, the guy suddenly start saying that he wants a kid, and the woman doesn't really want kids from the start of the relationship. So they felt like they needed to quit the relationship because their values no longer align with each other's values. So hope that's a clear example of the values alignment. Kind of sounded like a teacher there. Okay. Also, people quit when it negatively affects personal relationships. Um, for example, they quit smoking. Yeah, you can quit, right? So for example, you quit smoking because you feel like your loved ones hate you for being a smoker, so you had to quit smoking. Um, yeah, so I think that's pretty much self-explanatory. When it negatively affects your personal relationships, people quit whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's something um, in the workplace or maybe in personal relationships or maybe in activities, they quit because of this. Hello. Hello, Sir Taya. Good evening po. Okay. Um, yeah, I think this is the last. Another reason when people should quit is when you start losing your sense of self. Um, okay. So let's put it this way. We all have our values. I was talking about it earlier. We all have our convictions. We all have our perspectives. But when we are in a relationship, for example, in a personal relationship, for example, sometimes we tend to lose our sense of self. We tend to become different from the person that we were. Sometimes it's a really good change. Sometimes it's a really good improvement. But sometimes there are also sometimes there are also times where when we realize that we have changed and we became worse than the person we were yesterday, and that's also the time that we realize that we should quit. um for example, in personal relationships, I've noticed this, that men and women, okay, both men and women have to adjust in personal relationships, right? If they have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, or if they're married, or if they just in a relationship with somebody else, they sacrifice a lot, right? And it's part of our lives to be sacrificing this and that for a relationship. But sometimes we also sacrifice too much that we already forget who we are in the process. And I'm pretty sure for the adults in the audience, to the adults in the audience, you know what I'm saying. When you've been in relationships, you know that there are times that you tend to forget your own values, so that you will be considering somebody else's, so that you don't argue with that person, or maybe so that you can keep the relationship, right? We tend to give way most of the time, and then eventually you realize that, hey, this is not me anymore. I wasn't like this before. O kaya minsan sumasama na yung ugali ko, ganyan, 'di ba? You've felt that in one way or another. The change in your attitudes, and you start to realize that I'm not myself anymore. So that's when people should quit. When you feel that you have already lost your sense of self, you have to quit. Because if a person truly loves you, that person will not make you change yourself to, to become worse than you were yesterday. All right? So hope I was able to make sense out of that. I shouldn't really be eating too much carbs, right? I think I've been blabbering. Okay. All right. I think that's my last slide. Oh, I've beaten the 30 minute 30-minute timeline. Okay. So just sharing with you something from Robert Chu, I think. I don't know how to pronounce it. Premature adults resonate. I know, right? We're just kids, trapped in adult bodies. Okay, from Robert Chu, he said, respect yourself enough to walk away from anything that no longer serves you, grows you, or makes you happy. I really like this one. No longer serves you. And it's not because we are it's not because I'm indoctrinating about utilitarianism. No, that's not it. I totally believe that all relationships should have mutualism, not utilitarianism. You shouldn't be utilitarian. Like, you quit because you don't have any purpose for it anymore. I think, I think that's kind of not what I want to say. It's really about a relationship which does not serve you in a good way. For example, it makes you feel bad about yourself, or maybe you have totally changed your perspectives because of that particular situation, um, and it became worse than it was yesterday. But if your relationships or whatever it is that you're doing um, change you to become a better person, I think you shouldn't quit that. That's a very good situation to be in if you have pretty much improved yourself and you have definitely changed for the better. That's okay. But if it doesn't serve you well, you know what to do, right? If it does not grow you, speaking of premature, if it does not make you grow, it does not grow you. Yeah, if it does not make you grow, and again, when you're growing, you should be a better person, not the other way around. Di ba sabi nga sa Tagalog, dapat, ano ba sa Tagalog, yun yung parang, wag kang tumanda ng paurong, di ba? When you're growing up, you should really, be more mature in handling relationships or whatever in your life, not the other way around. If it's the other way around, then you're in the wrong place with the wrong people, with the wrong crowd, and with the wrong goals. Yeah, and also you should also walk away from anything that makes you sad. You shouldn't do that to yourself, right? You should always choose something because it makes you feel good, it makes you feel happy, it makes you feel you want to live more than you want to do otherwise. Okay, so do more of things that make you happy and make you satisfied about life and make you feel good about yourself and with the other people that you're with. So yeah, so there. I think I've pretty much said everything I want to say. Thank you so much to my carbohydrate intake. I fail on that one. I think so. I failed on the carb intake today. So anyway, how about you? Why did you quit, and when did you have to quit, and what do you think about quitting? And as I mentioned earlier, I don't think quitting is a sign of the weak. And if you quit just because you felt weak, that's also okay. I think people are entitled to whatever they want to feel. As I just like what I said from last night's episode, we ought to forgive ourselves for whatever we're feeling, whether it's good or it's bad thoughts that we have. We are not our thoughts, and also we should not always associate ourselves with failures or with quitting. If you quit one time, that doesn't mean that you're weak or you're a quitter or you're a loser. It's not like that. Okay, stop associating yourself with the actions that you're doing. Sometimes we have actions that we really want to do. Sometimes we do actions that are against not will, but something that's against our feelings. We don't really want to quit, but circumstances prevent you to do so. So let's stop associating ourselves with our circumstances. We are not our circumstances, we are not our actions, we are not our thoughts. So if you've recently quit whatever it is, or if you're planning to quit, stop judging yourself. You have the freedom to decide when should you continue working or working it out, or when should you quit. It's really up to you, because at the end of the day, remember this, people will just give you advice. That's true. Free advice is always right. Free advice is always good for those who are giving free advice. But at the end of the day, that advice that you take, you are not free from the consequences, right? So before you quit, before you listen to everybody who are telling you to quit, always consider the consequences first. So, but just in case you quit, again, don't be judgmental. My wife once said, "I'm quitting." I said, "Talk to Iceberg." Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course, of course, of course. We should talk. Yeah. But that's good. I mean, that's also good. If you want to quit, you have to talk to people who will lift you up. That's a very good move, I think. Until such time that you really decide to quit. But again, if you quit, do not judge yourself for it. Do not call yourself a loser, a quitter, or someone weak or whatever. It's not gonna serve you anything good. So stop the name calling, stop the labels, stop telling yourself this nonsense. Just do what makes you happy and just do something which is aligned to your values. At the end of the day, you always have to consider the first person who will suffer or who will take advantage of the consequences of your actions. And who's that? It's you, of course. So always consider yourself first before doing anything else. All right? So I hope you learned from that episode for tonight. And just in case you would like, again, if you would like to have some coaching sessions, or maybe whatever, maybe mentoring. My schedules are, you can book for a schedule on my channel or on my official Facebook page, and let's talk, right? So that you will have a more customized, a more customized approach instead of this very generic ones. But I hope you also learn from this generic episodes, and I'm really grateful. um I've gained a lot of wisdom from all my experiences in the past. I'm also grateful to my mentors who have been constantly supporting me, and who are always there, who are always one phone call away from, from the advice if I need it. And yeah, and thank you for not quitting on me, especially the supporters of this channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Let's support each other, and let's continue to help each other. Let's also continue to build each other up. By the way, this I'd also like to take this opportunity. I will be doing a fundraising for the victims of Taal, for the residents of Taal. Yeah, is that Taal? Taal, diba? So yeah, please also watch out for the announcement on my official Facebook page. Thank you, everyone. It's been a really rainy Tuesday, but I hope everyone's happy and healthy wherever you are, and keep on praying. And before you quit, always pray. But pala, that's the thing that I forgot to mention earlier. Before you quit, pray, and before you make another step, pray. Always pray. It will help you. It will help you in your ordeals or whatever it is that you're going through. Always. I'm a walking testimonial of prayers. I've always believed in them. So hope you do too. And just in case you don't believe so much in prayers, that's also okay. I'll pray for you as well. Okay? Thank you so much, Riz. Thank you, thank you. Um, this is Forever Mom. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sir Joseph. Thank you, everyone. It's been it's been a really happy Tuesday for me. Thank you, everyone. And once again, this is Irene. I'll see you again tomorrow. Hold on, do I have? Okay, I'll do my best to be online tomorrow. But again, Mondays to Saturdays, every 8 p.m., I'll be here for the podcast as much as I can. If I don't have too much workload tomorrow, I'll be online as well. Thank you, everyone. Bye. Stay safe, stay healthy, and God bless you all.